Hey everybody, welcome back to the Conscious Cruiser. It's Monday morning, so you know that means it's time for us to talk about some cruises.
Yeah.
Good morning, good morning. I am here with my friends and fellow podcasters, Chet from Sea Lake Journeys and Scott from Controversial Cruising. How are you guys?
Doing good, doing good.
Good,
Super
good.
Hungry.
excited.
I look forward to Mondays because I get to see you guys and hang out, catch up. But Mondays are usually a little rough, so
Yeah, they are. They
You know
are.
what we need? A mood check.
I will have one of those later on today. I will. 7 p.m.
I'll beat you there,
let,
Chet.
let us
Go.
know. Let us know how it all works out for you today. But anyway, today we are going to talk about the know before you go approach before you head out on your very first cruise. We're going to give you some
Wow.
tips and tricks and things that you want to keep in mind. So let's get into it right after this.
Welcome into the Conscious Cruiser podcast, the know before you go approach to cruising and travel. The smartest cruiser is the Conscious Cruiser. And your conscious casters, Alisa, Chet, and Scott.
Hey, hey,
Hey.
First time
hey.
cruising right
First,
after we talked about Alaska. How amazing is that? This is a
wouldn't it be amazing if Alaska was your first cruise? I don't know. Wow.
wow, I didn't even think about that. That would
That's
be.
yeah, that's
That'll blow your mind.
yeah. It wasn't mine either. It wasn't mine either. Can you remember your first one? Your first cruise? And yeah, yeah, me
Yep.
too. I can remember. I can remember. What do we think? Is it better for those who are just thinking about going on a cruise ship for the first time? Is it better to go solo or is it better to go with family, friends, whatever?
Hmm.
What would you do? I got to pick on somebody, I guess, huh? Okay, Chet.
Oh, don't pick on me. Okay. Well, I'm gonna give you a double answer because the first answer is if you're married, like I am, to Robin from Select Journeys, I better be
Good,
taking my spouse with me on that cruise.
good answer. Good
Good
answer.
answer.
Highly recommend it. Go with somebody, especially if you're married, and make sure it's your wife, not your girlfriend or your dog or your dog catcher, anything like that. But I do want to throw out a recommendation based on some comments I've had on videos in the last few weeks. And
Okay.
some people have been asking me about going on cruises, but they don't want to go alone. They don't want to, even if they're a couple, they don't want to go with just them. And I
Oh, okay.
suggested to them, well, maybe you want to go on a group cruise. So
Mm-hmm.
my answer to this question is it might be better for you to go on a group cruise. So not just necessarily with people you know, but people maybe you've seen on
Yeah.
YouTube. You want to go hang out with them and their experience. They'll know about the ships and the ports, and they can kind of help
Yeah.
you navigate your way around activities and doing things. Give you some heads up information, and you won't feel like you're alone as a
Right.
stranger with 3,000 people. You'll have
Yes.
somebody that you at least know from YouTube, or from Facebook or something. So
Something. Did you kind of have a name or something? Yeah.
yeah, so I'm going with the group cruise. I say first time cruiser, find yourself a group cruise and get on that thing.
Well, that's
Definitely.
an interesting one. I had not thought about that, but I think that's totally valid. People, may have not gone, like you said, because they didn't have anybody to go with and didn't think it would be much fun by themselves. So why not? If you have a favorite YouTuber you've been following, or just a travel agent that you know is hosting a group cruise, why not? What
And
about you, Scott?
many times the travel agents will host group cruises to save cruisers money,
Yeah.
right? It's definitely a great way to get on the ship with like-minded individuals like yourself that like cruising and love cruising. But it's also a great way to save just a little bit of money too. So
Yep.
I've never even thought about that to do that for your very first cruise. But I always think it's better in numbers. I think going with somebody for your very first cruise to experience it with somebody else is always nice. I think if I was to put myself back and let's say now would be my very first cruise, my next cruise would be my first cruise, I would like to go with somebody that also was a first time cruiser so we could, walk in circles together and we don't look like, well, hey, where's the gift shop? It's on 7. Oh, it's on 3. And it's like, oh, we've been on the ship for 5 days. I still don't know where the toilet is. Like, okay, let's do this together and look like, we're confused together. And then we'd be like, wow, well, that was fun not knowing where we're going for 7 days. But, hey. So that's what I would suggest. I mean, I've taken many first-time cruisers, even though I wasn't a first-time cruiser, on their first cruise. Aaron and Keone, and there's so many friends that I've done that with, and it's definitely something to take you back, right? And remember, hey, I remember when I was a first-time cruiser too, and I was in awe of like, wow, I'm gonna live on that thing for the next 5 days. Like, I can eat as many chocolate chip cookies until they come out of my nose. Like, no one's gonna stop me. No one's gonna stop you. Just use the tongs. Don't use your hands. Like,
Use the tongs.
Use the tongs. Yeah, that's funny. Now, just listening to you guys talk, it kind of made me think of something in a different way because I did go on my first cruise with my family, but now that I think about it, my mom was she was in a travel club through her work, and so we did end up knowing a couple of people on the ship, but I didn't realize that they were going to be on the ship at the same time as we did. And actually, it ended up being a family that I babysit the kids for, and so that was kind of wild when they were coming up to me and I don't know, they lost a suitcase and the kids wanted to go swimming. Anyway, it was a thing. So you might have lots of options or more options to go with people that you kind of sort of know, at least to have a familiar friendly face if you're using the same travel agent or if you're have a program through work. So interesting.
Yeah.
good answers.
Um,
All good answers.
Yeah, that was good. That was good stuff. Okay, so now that we've decided how we're going or who we're going with, what's that number one tip that you would give to the first time cruiser? I'll go with you, Scott.
I would say, when you go on your first cruise, and I mean, I think this is true for any first time experience that we have, right? Where we're just overwhelmed with excitement, right? And we feel like we want to do everything, right? We want to do everything right away, very first day. And we're so scared that we're not going to get to see everything on the ship or do everything in the 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 29 days if you're Bill on the okay.
Warm Strong Adventures.
But my tip for first time cruisers is take that overwhelmingness away from you, right? And do the things that are important to you that you want to do, right? Maybe the entertainment is important to you and you really like shows. Well, make sure that you go to all the shows. And sometimes if you don't want to go to the creativity at sea or the crafts, don't beat yourself up if you don't make it to the creativity at sea, right? You're not going to be able to do everything. Don't be overwhelmed by not being able to do everything. Make sure you do what you want to do because it's your vacation. It's your cruise, right? Don't compare, right? We live in a world of comparison. Oh my God, Chet went and he went to the steakhouse and he did this and then he got to do the ice carving. Well, good. Maybe Chet really enjoyed all of that. And maybe guess what? You don't like ice carving. Well, guess what? Don't do ice carving. Go do something else because it's your vacation. Make it what you want to make it and don't get overwhelmed by not doing every possible thing that's on the Fun Times or the Daily Planner or the Princess Flyer or whatever it may be.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It is easy to get overwhelmed.
Yeah, I was guilty of that, Scott, on my first cruise, trying to do everything. I think that's what a lot of first-time cruisers do. They want to try to do it all. That's a great tip.
Chet did this. Alisa did this. Oh my God, I saw Ed do this. Oh, Bill did that. Like,
what did I miss?
They do that because they love.
They're interested in that. Yeah.
Yeah. Chet loves cooking classes to do that with Robin, right? Maybe I don't want to do cooking class, or maybe it doesn't interest me. Maybe I just want to sit down to the table after Chet and Robin have cooked and just eat. Maybe that's what I like to do, right?
Well,
Any
I got
questions at the
my
top?
big tip is do your research for your first cruise. Back when we started, there wasn't a
Ooh.
whole lot of research to do. You had a little catalog, and maybe the travel
Yeah.
agent could tell you some. But now there's no excuse. You got YouTube, you got the internet. You can find out what kind of experience do you want on
One
a
of those
cruise.
old catalogs.
Not like that. Like, yeah, Lisa's got it. I know you can't see it on
I know you
Spotify,
can't. Yeah.
Wow.
but she's holding up an old timey catalog. But yeah, check out everything you can find out. Find out what kind of cruise experience do you want to have. Do you want that party, get down, let's everybody do a conga line and a limbo kind of experience? There's certain cruise lines that excel in that, and then there's other cruise lines that may excel in a more relaxing experience. Which one do you want? Do your research so that you don't get on the wrong ship. Check out the itineraries. Check out the activities there are on the ship. Like Scott said, you ain't going to be able to do everything. So find out what there is on that ship and those ports that you want to do, and schedule the things that are priority to you that you want to do first. Maybe you find, like on a ship that we went on, we saw they had a 360 dining experience. Well, you had to sign up for that quick if you want to be a part of that, because it sells out. And I said, I want to do that. I got to do that. So find out if there's an experience on the ship that you want to do. Or maybe you don't want to do anything. You want to read a book. So you want a ship that's a little more quiet and laid back, so I can have some peace and quiet where I'm not listening to steel drums all day in my ear. Then you want to pick a different cruise line than the one your friend went on that had the conga lines and the limbo. Right. So research, people. YouTube, we got 3 channels right here that you can use to help you out. Alisa's Adventures in Cruising, Controversial Cruising with Scott, and of course, Sea Leg Journeys. We got a lot of experience, and we're going to help you find out the research points that you need to know so that you can pick the right cruise and the right activities for you.
Yeah. And if you have any questions too, we are all approachable too. We have you can comment on any one of our videos. You can comment on this video. You can email any one of us. We all love talking cruising. So if you have a question, say, hey, I listened to your podcast and I'm about to go on my first cruise. I'm trying to choose NCL or Royal. We'll sit and have a conversation with you. This is what we love to do. So yes, good adding that.
Just don't have any hope on getting a yes or no answer out of us.
It's a little more detailed than that.
Well, let me tell you about that.
You got time?
Well, first I would say I am personally not a travel agent. These guys are not personally travel agents, but we've worked with them for a long time, and like you said, we've booked our own cruises, so we know a couple of things. We're happy to share if we know, and if we don't know, we're happy to tell you that too, rather than send you on a wild goose chase or down in the wrong direction. So,
what have we got, like 70, 75 years of cruise experience here between us?
Yeah.
Something like that. I know we added it up at one point.
Over 100 cruises. It's got to be over 100. So.
Well over.
Well, I did grab, and again, for those who just listen on Spotify, you can't see it, but I just grabbed a Carnival catalog. This one was from 2004, 2005 season. This wasn't my first cruise, but I don't know. We used to like to go run into the travel agents and pick these up. Yeah. So, and that was the only information you really had, unless you had a chance to sit and talk with the travel agent and ask all kinds of questions. I'm looking in the back to see, there's a couple of pages of sort of general questions, but along the lines of what Chet is saying about doing your research, I would include in that getting on the cruise line's website, checking out their FAQ pages or on the app, so that you just know the basics and know what you should be asking more about, what interests you, or what are they saying, mustard? Why do I have to go to a drill about mustard? No, the mustard drill. Why do you have to go to that safety briefing? How do you find out where to go? Just have some of the basic some of your basic questions answered, because that is a terrible feeling as you're talking to people that you're getting off your cruise and they're all talking about all these great things that they saw and did, and you're like, I didn't see any of that. How'd you find out about that? I didn't know about that. Go in with some base knowledge, at least not feel like you can't ask the crew, because sometimes people, and even the ones in uniform, like they look like a naval officer. You can approach them too. They're there. They're there. and they will point
They
you in
will.
the right direction. So anyway, do a little bit of research, have some basic questions answered so that you can get on the ship and go.
Partay after you eat your mustard.
Or lay down and read
Right.
your book in peace and quiet,
Yes,
depending on which
whatever
cruise
it is
line
that
you
you
pick.
want to do, but you know where to go. Like,
Yeah.
people used to talk about the libraries on the ship. Who's looking for a library on the big ships, new ships now?
Mm. Can't
All the
find
new
one.
ships don't have them anymore.
That's right. They
Or
don't
it's
have
such
no
a
more.
yeah, there's a tiny little corner and you're like, "Oh, I used to like to go in there. I didn't actually sit in there and read, but I like to walk in just to see what the setup was."
I
I
like
would
to walk
take
in
my
there,
book and go on a deck somewhere.
or go get in there and get a board game. They used to have the
You could go
board
get board
game.
games out of there. Yep. Yep.
Well, now it's called the Kindle Corner, and you got to have a Kindle, and you go up and you say which book you want. You tap it, and then it virtually comes to you, and then you got to virtually check it back in.
Okay. Well, there you go.
See, that's
I'm
something I did
joking,
not.
but cruise lines, if you steal that from me, I want a 1% royalty. Okay, Kindle, not sponsored yet, but we're working on
Yet.
it. All right? Kindle Corner. Imagine that. Imagine that.
I just read comic books.
Well, speaking of our sponsor, I think we need to hear a word from our sponsor of today's podcast, which happens to be our very own Sea Lake Journeys.
This guy right here.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Robin. This is Chet, and we're Sea Lake Journeys.
That's right. So come on with us, and we're going to show you the ships, the ports, and the excursions that we do while we're cruising.
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, and of course, YouTube.
That's right. So come on and join us on all the fun things we're going to do. We also have live shows Wednesday and Friday morning at 8:30 Eastern Time and Sunday night at 6 p.m. So come on and join us there too.
And don't forget, we have a wide variety of videos on YouTube, from everything from the food, to the rooms, to the excursions, to the ships.
That's right. So come on and join us for the fun here at Sea Lake Journeys.
They're having the look. Am I? There we go. Don't they look like they're having the best time ever over there at Sea Lake Journeys?
Whatever Chet was holding on that plate, I want it right now.
Come on.
Coconut shrimp or tempura shrimp. I don't know.
I don't know. It did look good. It looked good.
The best eating I've ever done has been on a cruise ship.
Me too.
Yeah, you can find some good stuff. Some good stuff. So, what was your first cruise ship ever?
Ooh, first
I know
cruise
mine.
ship ever.
That was
You know-
Carnival Sensation.
The Carnival Sensation.
2004, we left out of Tampa. We went to Cozumel and came back. We visited the ruins of Tulum while we was down there.
Mm.
I tell you, we were hooked, guys. 4 days on the Carnival Sensation, and we were hooked on cruising. It was such an incredible experience. Like Scott had talked about earlier, just standing there looking at the ship with my mouth hanging open, drooling, going like, wow, I get to actually get on that thing. I was blown away by the sensation. Okay. It would be like the least of all cruise ships out there on the water today.
Yeah.
So if you haven't cruised yet, you're going to be even more blown away and more open mouth drooling when you see the ships there are today. My first cruise, I remember everything. I remember the entertainment. I remember the ice carving. I remember the excursions. It was all so awesome. I get goosebumps reliving that moment in my head right now. I was excited about
it. Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. What about you, Scott? Where was your first cruise?
I have to say, I don't remember my first cruise. I know what my first cruise was, but the reason why I don't remember it was I was the ripe age of just about 2 years old. I was on the SS Dolphin, which is no longer a line, or I'm sorry, it was the SS Dolphin line, but it was actually SS Seabreeze. So they used to do a lot of the names SS and then the Seabreeze. There was a whole bunch of them, but I was on the SS Seabreeze. And in particular, that cruise was what they call a charter cruise back in the day. So that was chartered by Cartoon Network, and it
Oh
was a
wow.
Hanna-Barbera cruise. I don't know if many of you remember that Hanna-Barbera cartoons and
Yes.
Saturday morning cartoons. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I love those cartoons. I guess I would sit there as a kid and watch them. So my parents thought it would be a fun idea to take me as a 2-year-old on this Hanna-Barbera cruise. They said they did not have a good time because all I did was cry, and all I did was I was terrified of the the characters in.
Yeah, little kids usually are.
Yeah, little kids don't like that stuff. Yeah,
Uh,
little kids don't like that stuff.
that was my first cruise. I don't know exactly how long it was, but they said after that. I mean, apparently, I guess I was hooked on cruising because here I am, 50 something cruises in, and I'm not crying. I'm only crying when they kick me off the ship. I'm not crying when, I don't know, the big towel animal, the big elephant towel animal for Carnival
Yes.
comes out. I don't
Yes.
cry on him. So it takes
Good. That's good to know.
Hey, you go on Disney, you might have a stroke, man. With all those walking around.
legit. I was like, you guys didn't even take me on Disney. You just threw me right onto the Hanna-Barbera cruise. So
That's
yeah,
funny. So do you remember what was the first one that you went on as an adult paying for yourself?
Yeah.
How about that?
An adult paying for myself. So adult paying for myself was the Carnival Imagination, which is no longer in service. I met actually my best friend there. I took my best friend who lives in New York, and I met my best friend on the cruise who is works for Carnival now, and I've been following him around since 2011. It's 2025 now, so
Time flies.
time flies.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Well, along the sort of cartoony lines, I guess, my first cruise was on the Big Red Boat, which was the predecessor to Disney Cruise Line. We did the combo Disney and I don't know how many days at sea. I want to say it's like 3 or 4, and we went to the Bahamas. And I remember being very, very excited because I was going out of the country. And I thought that was a big deal, and it is a big deal.
Yeah,
And I wanted to see something new and something different. So that was very exciting. But then, like as I asked you, what was the first one I went on as an adult, paying for myself? I think it was still a Carnival ship, but that one was out of Miami. I couldn't tell you the name on it, and that was like a girls' weekend kind of thing.
Girls' Weekend. Can't remember the name of the ship.
Sounds about right.
Well, y'all are lucky. Y'all got to cruise as kids and adults. I was 40 years old before I ever got on a ship the first time.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why it was like when I was asking the first question about, do you recommend it for a first time cruiser to go with family or friends or by yourself? And I was like, I wouldn't have known anything about it if my parents hadn't taken me. And I tried to continue that with my daughter. So I'm glad that I had that opportunity,
Yep. And I think it's easier, just thinking, going back to that for a second, I think it's easier to say back in the day, right, when we first started cruising, go by yourself. It's easy, solo travel, right? But it's a crazy world we live in now in 2025, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just imagine you were telling your, 25-year-old daughter or 21-year-old daughter, go on a first cruise by yourself.
No, yeah,
or even your 21-year-old son. I don't care. I'm not playing, the girl guy. I don't care, right? Or even us, right? Just to cruise or travel alone, right? You have to be a little bit more aware of your surroundings, right? And as a first-time cruiser, you're already overwhelmed with, I want to get on the ship. I want to do everything. I want to do this. I want to eat all the cookies. Right? And now you have to be extra cautious about your surroundings, about people watching you, whatever, looking to steal your GoPro or whatever it may be, right? It's a crazy world in 2025. So that's why I say for your first cruise, I recommend going with somebody else, whether it's an experienced cruiser, first-time cruiser, your family, your friend, somebody that is going to be in your corner. If something happens, no, that's my friend. That's my brother. That's my, whatever. My YouTube buddy.
It goes for any travel, like you say, whether you're going to airline, train, cruise. I don't think you should really, if you can help it, I don't know if you should travel by yourself,
Correct.
It's one of those things. I see it both ways. Definitely, you have to be careful wherever you go. And that's on a daily. But when you're
Yeah,
traveling, and if you're traveling by yourself, for sure, you have to be extra cautious. But for those people who genuinely don't have someone to go with, or they have this burning desire to go and do it, and nobody else is like, I'm not getting on a cruise ship, forget that, I just leave me at the beach right down the road. I'm not doing that. I feel like cruising is a good way for people to sort of spread their travel legs and not have a stigma about traveling alone. Like,
right.
you can go and meet people and talk to people, or you can hang out by yourself and still have a good time. But not having someone to go with shouldn't be the only reason that you don't get to go if you really want to go. Do you know what I'm
Besides, if
saying?
you need someone to go with you,
Phone a friend.
notice Alisa is solo and Scott's solo, and
Well, that's the thing. I'm not always solo.
not
Nothing wrong
always.
with that, but anyhow,
Yeah.
that's a whole other topic. So, have you ever taken a first time cruiser on their first voyage with you? Like, I think you mentioned that already, or Scott, that you've taken friends and been their guide to the cruise world.
I have. Actually, it's on my page. One of the reasons why I actually started my YouTube channel was in 2023, I took one of my best friends who lives right across the street from me, Aaron, on his very first cruise. It was really a second cruise, but we won't talk about what happened on his first cruise. It was really his very first cruise, and he had a blast. We had a great time. We still talk about that to this day. He wants to go on more of an elevated line now and try more of like a Princess or a Holland. Or something else like that. So we're talking about that. I also took a buddy of mine that I used to work with, Keone, too. That is on my page. We went on the Carnival Valor. That's right. We went on the Carnival Valor out of New Orleans. Wanted to give him that before port experience with New Orleans. He had never been there before. We went out, hung out in New Orleans, and then we took a 4-day cruise out of on the Carnival Valor. And now, believe it or not, because I have my channel and some people watch at work and some of my other friends, I have more people that are peeking up saying, hey, let me know when your next summer cruise is, or let me know the next time you're going on Carnival, or let me know the next time you're going on a 4-day cruise. I want to go. And I'm like, oh,
Right.
like, I never knew you were, interested in cruising. They go, I
Yeah.
never knew you were a cruiser. Okay, well. So now I
works
will have
out.
some more people that I'm taking, and I really do enjoy that. I think it's one of my favorite things to do as a cruiser is to take a first-time cruiser on their cruise, because you get to kind of give them your opinion, right? I'm never saying, hey, go to this or do this, or I'm never one of those. I want you to build your own experience and experience things, but at least you have somebody with experience that could say, hey, if you do that, you're going to end up paying $100 because it's a specialty dinner. It's not included. Like, oh, I thought it was included. Like it,
Right.
It's just things like that. And I like to
Yeah.
see them look at the ship and go, wait, that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, that thing for the
Yes.
next 7 days. Me, you, buddy. That's it. Let's get on it. Let's go.
Fun. What about you guys, Chet? Have you taken others?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We had same kind of situation as Scott. Somebody, found out we had cruised, and we just knew them through other ways. And they're like, hey, next time y'all going to go on a cruise, we want to go. And I'm like, okay. So that's what I was alluding to with you're going to know somebody in your neighborhood. It may not be Scott or Lisa, right? You probably know somebody who goes cruising. Let them know you want to go next time they go, and maybe they'll let you know. And that's what happened here. We had another couple that always wanted to go on a cruise, but they did not want to go by themselves. They said, we don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. And so we took them on the Carnival Sunrise, and had a great time. And they loved it, and they're still yammering about it today. So what a fun time.
Fun times. Yeah. I mean,
it wasn't that dang pole dancing Kurt and Marsha or Tom and Terry, was it? Or Bruce and Cindy, right?
No,
that I saw you dancing on the pole with. I saw that. It's going around. I seen you guys dancing on that pole.
And guess what, Scott? When we get on the ABC cruise, you'll be there. And Lisa, you want to book that cruise too, right? The ABC cruise, so you can video it. Somebody's got to.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll be there to record and give a full account of what actually happened.
Until
I
they have
regret
girls
saying
out
that
on the
now.
ship, then it'll be us vlogging the girls.
Yes,
Oh
yes.
man, too funny,
Oh,
too funny. Well, that is
geez.
good stuff. That's really great. I think there's been times where, like you said, people have said, "Oh, well, I'll go. I didn't know you were into cruising, and just let me know how to do this or go do that."
Mhm.
So that's always helpful if you have a friend who knows a thing or two about where you're heading.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, I hope this was helpful. Any other first time cruiser tips you want to pass on?
Oh, I got one.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't forget the seasick medication. Even if you don't get seasick, it's better to have and be preventative, right? In those measures. And I've been on, I don't know, 50 something cruises. I've never been seasick. So knocking on wood, but take it just to be safe. They do have it in the gift shop, but you're going to pay like $12.99 for one little tablet. So you're probably going to have to get
Yes.
two. So there you go. $25 just for that. So you just bring it. Just bring it.
Just bring it. Just bring it.
Like the rock. Bring it.
I got a last tip too. If you need help, if all this research and planning and all this seems overwhelming, and you don't have anybody else don't want to go with, maybe just get a hold of a travel agent who can help sort it out for you, help you know which ships are more aligned with what you are looking for your cruise experience. And we all know some travel agents, so get a hold of any of us, and we'll be sure to refer you to some that will do just that, help you get on the right ship and the right itinerary.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And I think that you stole my thunder with the seasickness medicine. That's usually my line. But anyway, no, I think there's lots of information. There's lots of YouTubers who give advice and give like lists of things that you need to pack with you, and use your own discretion on that. Those are very helpful so that you can kind of make sure you have it all. But for sure, if you're heading to the Caribbean, or if you're heading to Alaska too, we talked about this earlier, you need to have your sunscreen, you need to have a hat, you need to have your sunglasses, and you want to capture all this, so you need some kind of camera with you. So make sure you have those along with, of course, your ID, your passport preferably, or your driver's license, birth certificate, so that you can get on and get back home without any problem.
Yep. Hopefully the ID that has the little star in it. I
The
know you're
real
talking about
ID.
the real
Yes.
ID.
The
Real
real
ID.
ID.
The real Scott, please stand up.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to. We were talking about our shirts, and I know you guys listen on Spotify. Can't see us, but we were all sporting our shirts. Scott is in a very colorful tie dye today.
Carnival. Thank you, Luciano.
Chet is
Personally
sporting
made.
a Sea Legs Journey special, nice black and white with in a Hawaiian style print. But I think there's pictures of them on there.
Is that your
Yeah.
face on your shirt?
Yeah, that's their faces on there.
Let us
This
see
was
that.
given
Let us
to
see
us
that
by
right now.
It's commentary
I'm
from
putting you up on the screen. What in the
Yes, fancy Sea Lake Journey shirt.
commentary from TNT's Adventures with Sea made this for us. So thank you, commentary.
And then I have to stand up too, but mine is an Alisa's Adventures in Cruising shirt, and reminding you guys to hit the subscribe button. I hope you will subscribe to all of our channels if you haven't already, and if you have not, hit the like button. Do it now to this episode of the Conscious Cruiser podcast, and head on over to listen to us on Spotify as well. So
Yeah.
right? Spotify.
yeah.
Ahoy, fellow cruise enthusiasts. Ready to set sail on a sea of knowledge? Have you checked out the Conscious Cruiser podcast on Spotify? Well, what are you waiting for? Every week, our podcast is packed with all your cruising essentials. Whether you're driving to work, driving someone crazy, or driving to your next cruise port, pop on the Conscious Cruiser. We've got the best know-before-you-go cruise and travel tips. It's like having a cruise expert in your pocket. So give us a follow, give us a listen, and let's make your next cruise the best one yet. Don't miss out on the fun. Join the Conscious Cruiser community today. Now, back to the Conscious Casters.
Yeah.
We love that. We hope you're not driving somebody crazy, but it cracks us up every time.
If you're married, you're driving somebody crazy.
Well, anyway, thanks everybody for joining us, and we will see you next time. Today was episode number 29. Woo, next, yeah, we're climbing on up. So see you again for episode 30. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Beat you to the moon check today, Chet. Bye.